Good evening. This is Charlotte Pierce of Face the Book TV. We are in our 15th episode with the accomplished and award-winning author Ian Lamont. Hi, Ian.
Hi.
Hi. Good to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah, we enjoyed your presentation at the Independent Publishing Conference last weekend.
Thank you.
I think you got the award for like the most attendees for a session.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I did see a lot of people taking notes, so I know that it was a topic that people were very interested in.
Yeah, it was great, and we'll be sending that recording out to people, that registered. So that's cool.
Okay.
And anyway, I'm going to just do a little intro here. Facebook TV we're actually in our 15th episode, but who's counting? And Ian's going to be talking about Amazon advertising tonight. He's going to touch on Facebook, but Amazon is pretty much the better.
That's right. Yeah, I think that's where most authors should be concentrating their activities.
Excellent. Good to know. Yeah. We urge you to connect with Face the Book TV on social media. You can use the hashtag. I'm going to get my microphone out of the echo zone.
Okay.
We have a hashtag. So Face the Book TV. You can use it on anywhere in social media and win author services and gear and so forth. Ian, why don't you take it away? And I'm going to see if I can get my headphones to work, but I might ask you questions from time to time, and here you go.
All right. So thank you, Charlotte, for having me on the show. And also, I know Ed and a few other people are watching. Eddie, Vincent, and a few other people are watching remotely. Hello to you all. I will be able to take comments during this presentation. So if something comes up and you want to ask a question, use the commenting feature on whatever platform you're on, and hopefully myself or Charlotte will notice it and we can respond. So actually, the place where I'd like to start the discussion of Amazon advertising is not in Amazon advertising itself, but actually on the Amazon website. And the screenshot that you're looking at right now, this is a search for romance novels on Amazon. And I've highlighted 3 things on the page. And if you were to, I took this screenshot last week, and if you were to do it right now, you'd see something very similar. So the first thing is the oval in the upper left corner where it says that Charlotte, you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that we are going out, we're going to be distributing on audio apps too. So not everyone will see what we're looking at, but we will put that slideshow in the show notes if they want to see these slides.
Yeah, should I then be very descriptive about what I'm seeing? Like
a little more descriptive.
You're looking at a white page with 16 links on the side. No, so you're looking at an Amazon search result page, and I think everyone knows what that looks like.
Yeah.
And in the upper left corner, after you search for something, it will show you how many results there are. And for this particular term, romance novels, there are more than 100,000 results. And that points to one of the huge problems with Amazon is that there's just too many books, or too many of anything, really. And to get noticed, there's a couple things you can do, but basically it goes back to 2 things. It goes back to, first of all, Amazon's organic search algorithm, which means that Amazon uses a mathematical formula to determine what will show up on the page naturally, depending on a bunch of factors. So those factors could include things like your personal interests, what everybody else is looking at in terms of romance novels, maybe a new release. There's all kinds of factors. Amazon doesn't really explain what those factors are, but they determine the organic, like the so-called natural results that you see in the search engine. And actually, on this particular page, there's only one natural result, organic result, showing up on the screen when you first load the screen. And Charlotte, could you blow that up again so people can see it?
Yeah, hold on. I could put it on solo too.
Yeah, like that. Thank you.
Yeah.
So the right side of the screen, there's a single. It's in a green. I put a green rectangle around. It says the Magnolia Sisters, and this is an organic search result. It's a novel. I'm assuming it's a romance novel, and and Amazon is showing it above the like in the main screen when you first load it. If you were to scroll down on the screen, you would see more organic results for other romance novels, depending on various factors.
So the Magnolia, sorry, the Magnolia Sisters, they didn't buy that position.
No, they didn't buy it. So
Okay.
that's an important thing. It's unpaid. Now, it'd be great if everyone's book could show up, at the top of search results if you were publishing a romance novel or a mystery novel or a nonfiction. Unfortunately, it's not possible because, for instance, in this case, 100,000 romance novels results in Amazon. They can't possibly show everything, even on the first 10 pages. So what they do is they have like gradually the books start to fade out, and lots of people never even scroll past the first or second page anyway. So if you don't show up organically on the first or second page of Amazon search results, the only way to get there is to pay for placement. Amazon started doing this for books about 4 or 5 years ago, and they've really expanded it, especially in competitive categories such as romance novels. So in the middle of the screen, there's 6 different titles, and I drew a kind of a violet colored rectangle around them. Those are all paid results. Publishers or authors paid for those books to show up at the very top of Amazon search results. And it's basically the same concept when you go to a supermarket or a department store. If you see prominent displays, it's not because a supermarket is putting it there for out of the goodness of its heart. It's because a distributor or manufacturer is actually paying the supermarket or paying the department store extra money to have a very prominent display. They're usually called end caps, where they have special terms for them. Amazon is doing the same thing.
I think it's safe to say that people won't normally scroll past the first page of results.
That's true. Yeah. Although sometimes if you don't see what you're looking for, you may do that. But in many cases, they just want to pick up a romance novel. So they're like, oh, here's the first page of results. Magnolia Sisters or those other ones that are promoted. And actually the ones that attract the most attention, they're with the little orange label. Sometimes it'll be black. It'll say something like bestseller or Amazon's choice. Those will get some extra attention too. So anyways, Charlotte, if you could advance to the next screen.
Sure.
So Amazon advertising is a way for authors and publishers to get their books to show up, if not at the top of the results, then maybe someplace else on other product pages and other category listings, but basically to get your book more visibility. It's called a CPC platform, a self-serve CPC platform. Self-serve means you create the ads yourself. It's not completely automated, but I think most people watching this could probably figure it out. CPC means cost per click. It's different than other types of models you may have seen in the past, such as paying for the number of impressions. For Amazon's current iteration, you're just only paying when someone clicks on the ad. Just to let you know, clicking on the ad is not the same thing as a sale. So if you get 1,000 people clicking on your ad but nobody makes a sale, you're going to be spending a lot of money and not getting any return for it. And I'll come back to that in a little bit. You can access it through different programs. I think for many of the authors looking at this program, this screencast today, most people will probably access it through Amazon KDP. That's the self-serve platform to put your book either in a Amazon Kindle or maybe to have a print edition of the book. And somebody just asked, how important are keywords? I'm going to get to keywords in a second. They can be quite important. But
great! You can see the comments then.
Yes, I can.
Great,
so
awesome.
How important are keywords? So let me come to back to that in a minute. Basically, you access the program through KDP or maybe some of the other programs I've listed there, and usually they'll show up on Amazon.com or maybe on the Amazon app. Okay, so Charlotte, can we go to the next one?
Yeah.
So here's another example, and press the next key just so we see the picture I was trying.
Oh, right, yeah, this an animated type thing, yeah.
Yeah, so here's another example. Now, in this particular case, the keyword being used is genealogy, and there's 40,000 results. The top 2 results are paid, and actually I paid for them. Those are my advertisements right there. Below it, it's all organic. And the interesting thing is, like someone just asked about how important are keywords. Like I can bid on a keyword, like for my books, Genealogy Basics in 30 Minutes. That's a book my company publishes. I can say to Amazon, okay, if anybody searches for the term genealogy, I'm willing to pay 50 cents per click. Okay. Now, maybe Amazon will show that.
Don't you get really nervous?
Yeah, you can because other people can bid more. And actually, when we were looking at the romance novels before, I'm sure that keyword, the bids for that are so hot, and I can tell because there's so many advertisements at the top.
Oh, and basically, good point. Yeah.
Amazon is really encouraging people to bid against each other and to bid up these popular keywords. But it's possible to find keywords that people may not even be aware of. And to give you one example, maybe genealogy basics, that's genealogy book, those are obvious keywords. But what if the keyword is something like gift for senior grandparent, or gift, new hobby for adult? Like those keyword phrases, you can use those for your books. And if nobody else is bidding on them, the price may not be so expensive, and it may be possible for you to win that bid. I'm not making any guarantees. And also, even if you do win the bid and it shows your book, it's not guaranteed that people are going to buy the book. And so there's an important issue about that. You can have the best ad campaign and the best keywords and a big budget. If people click on the ad and they see your book and it doesn't meet their expectations in some way, that is, people aren't actually buying the book, you're basically wasting money. So really, in addition to running an ad campaign, you should have a detail page for your book, a product page for your book that really highlights the book in the best possible way. And
so you have to get all your ducks in a row.
Exactly. And the ducks include
a good quality product. You have to have all this stuff lined up before you execute the ad request.
Yes. And Charlotte, what do you think are what do you know are some of the factors that go into helping people convince them to buy a book if they're looking at an Amazon detail page?
Oh, you just said this in the conference.
That's right. It's a test. You weren't expecting it.
What are some things? Title.
Yes.
I'm trying to think back. My head's in another space. But
okay, so title is one. That's a good one, actually, and also the subtitle. So it should be kind of clear about what the book is about. It should have a really good professional quality cover photo. So don't do a DIY type photo for your book. It should have reviews. It should have, I'd say at least 10 reviews, and the reviews should generally be good. Now, the thing here is it's impossible to guarantee the quality of a review because you don't know what people are going to think about your book.
Yeah.
If you do everything right in terms of making a professional quality book, professional design, professional cover, it's professionally edited, it's a good story, it's a riveting story, of course you're going to get 4 and 5 star reviews most of the time. But if you don't pay attention to those things, the reviews will be lower quality. But that's an important thing too. The other thing would be maybe price, if it's a pretty competitive field, or the fact that it's available, if it's a paperback or hardback, if it's available via Amazon Prime. If there's no Amazon Prime sticker, a lot of people, they won't even consider it.
That's what you said. I remember that. Yeah.
That's right. And in fact, nowadays you can actually, when you're searching, you can only include Amazon Prime results. So if your book for some reason is not available Amazon Prime as a paperback or hardcover, that may go against you.
And I was told that you have about 2.5 seconds for someone's eye to catch on your cover design, especially when it's a little tiny thumbnail.
That sounds kind of like the Malcolm Gladwell theory of like making an impression, like just a split second, people will make a decision. 2.5 seconds, I think, is probably about right. I tell people for the description, if they actually start to read the description, they should be able to figure out what's going on with your book in about 10 seconds. If you're giving a long, convoluted story, or people can't really figure it out, or it's a gigantic description, I'd say that probably hurts you more than helps you. So in some cases, I think less is more. So do a lot of testing on that kind of. That's right. Yeah. Let's go to the next page, Charlotte.
Sure.
This is a mobile advertisement. So your ads can show up on mobile as well. And actually, the important thing to note about this, more and more people are shopping on mobile. And this is true for me, and I think it's true for a lot of other people. Absolutely, I think especially younger demographics are more likely to use the phone and not the desktop app on a browser. Could we have the next page?
Okay, I just wanted to mention for station identification, this is Face the Book TV. We are a production of Pierce Press, and we're a podcast and audio visual video live streaming program. You can find out more about the podcast and our other podcasts at piercepress.com/podcasts. Okay. And is this the one you want?
Yes. So one thing it's important to note that your ads, in addition to showing up in search results, it may show up on other books' pages. So this is a book that my company publishes, and the red rectangle there, that's actually an advertisement for a completely different book. I have no control over that ad. Like I can't tell Amazon, don't show that ad there.
But it's not even about genealogy.
No, it's not, which tells me that whoever created the ad, they didn't do their keyword targeting that well.
Okay.
Or something is going on with Amazon. So it's possible whoever made that book, I can't read the details because it's kind of small, but whoever made that book, they just randomly entered a bunch of keywords thinking, oh, genealogy or some other keyword that's in my description. Yeah. And it just is showing the wrong thing. But
it looks like to me like it's about finding a therapist.
Yes. So my book is definitely not about therapy. I don't even remember. I don't think I even use therapy in the description or anywhere else. So I don't know why it's showing up there. But
I don't know, maybe family, genealogy.
Yes, that could be it. So family is one of my metadata keywords. And I also say family history, family research. So it's possible it's showing it up because of that. Yeah. The other thing that you see sometimes happening is that particularly for really competitive categories or books competing with each other, people, the publisher will place an ad below a competitor's book, and sometimes the publisher whose ad is being kind of hijacked, whose book is being hijacked, they may buy ads on their own product pages to prevent other people from doing it. So it's really turning into a very complicated battleground. And actually, of course, the winner here is Jeff Bezos. He's winning lots of money on getting desperate people to post advertisements.
He needs it to run the Washington Post and his.
Yeah, which is probably losing money for him. But,
maybe, yeah.
He's making lots of money in other ways. Can we have the next page? So here's another example of where your advertisements may show up. And you've probably seen this when you've looked at Amazon on the web.
Yes.
There's like a carousel of other products below it. And some of them are sponsored, and it will say sponsored. Like this one says sponsored products related to this item. Sometimes it'll say people who bought this also bought this, and they'll show a bunch of similar books. So, and the red arrows, by the way, that's highlighting the fact that on the advertisements, you can actually choose to have custom text.
And would you recommend that, or does it cost a lot more?
It doesn't cost any more, and so I think it doesn't hurt to have it. But like anything, hopefully the text is good. It encourages people to click on it or to read.
Yeah, got it.
And next page. So here's a big list of why to use it. I think you could just kind of. Yeah, I mean, the big thing is that you're going to the head of the line. You're just getting more eyeballs going on your book. And so the reason why I highlighted this, and actually this is a good chance to talk about Facebook too. You're targeting people who want to buy something. And on Amazon, it's a marketplace for items to buy. So the people that are coming there, 90% of them, they're interested in buying something probably that day, or maybe they're doing some research and are going to come back later on. This is different than Google, where people may not be wanting to buy something. They just want to find out information about something. Like somebody searching for Stephen King on Google versus searching for Stephen King on Facebook versus searching for Stephen King on Amazon. 3 different audiences.
Good
on
point.
Google. Yeah. And I think people can see what those things are. Google, you're looking for information about the author. Facebook, you want to find his fan page. And Amazon, you want to buy his books. Somebody just asked a question: how do you know what you should set your keyword bid at? And the answer is it should probably you probably have to do some testing, and also for competitive keywords it won't be cheap. And I actually just saw something today that keywords in really competitive categories like mystery or romance, you might actually have to bid $1 per click, which is really, really, really heavy. For my categories, nonfiction, some of them are very competitive. Like, what's a good example? I did something on Social Security. We have a 2-book series on Social Security, and those keywords are actually pretty expensive. Sometimes I'm supposed to bid more than $1. I never do that. But for other ones that I do, like Google, surprisingly, the keyword bids are pretty low if I bid on a term related to Google. Oh, one other important thing. Yes, Charlotte.
Oh, I just wanted to ask you. Is there a way to test this out before you make that commitment?
No, but if you're not sure, what you can do is you can set your bids low. So this is important to know. I'm not going to get into how to create an advertisement, but I will tell you on Amazon, you have the ability to set the bid level for each keyword or for all your keywords that you're bidding on. And usually what I do is I set keywords for 22 cents if it's a broad keyword, and up to about 55 cents if it's an exact keyword. Okay. So for instance, I have a book about Dropbox. It's called Dropbox in 30 Minutes. For my keyword bids, for people searching for something like Dropbox book, I'm bidding 55 cents on that. for people that are searching for something like Evernote or Google Cloud or iCloud, which is not covered in my book, but the people who look at that keyword, they might be interested in finding out about Dropbox, I'll bid less money on that, maybe 22 or 33 cents. The days of getting cheap keywords on Amazon, they're going away. You can still find some bargains for certain special keywords that are not so obvious, but you have to determine what those keywords are. There are some tools out there. One of them is called, actually, I'm going to put it in, maybe Charlotte, you can display this.
Yeah, well, just before you do that, do you have an in 30 minutes guides to Amazon advertising?
No, actually, I don't want to do that. And the reason why is, first of all, it's very complicated. I don't think you could cover it in 30 minutes like you could for something like Dropbox. And then the other reason is that it's changing all the time. And there's lots of other books out there that are on that.
Got it. Okay.
If you go to my, so I have a YouTube channel. If you search for, actually, if you go to my website, leanmedia.org, I'm going to put that in the private chat. Maybe Charlotte can share that. Leanmedia.org. If you click on video, I have a YouTube channel with all kinds of videos that show how to create certain types of ads and other things about this ecosystem. But I'm not going to try to write a book about it. I think other people are doing it, and it's changing so fast. One other thing, I wanted to get back to Facebook advertising, because I said I would talk about this. So Facebook advertising, everybody knows that it's important because you can see when you go to Facebook, there are ads all over the place. And if people are there, obviously you want to put your book in front of them in some way. There's a couple problems with it. One thing is that, as I said before, not everyone who is on Facebook wants to buy a book or wants to buy anything. They're there to talk with their friends. The other thing is that Facebook advertising, it has a very, very steep learning curve. I spent lots of time and lots of money on it in years past, and it didn't work out. This year, after COVID started, I said, all right, I have to do something to help my business, because Amazon, maybe people remember this, in April or March, they said, you can't send, they're prioritizing, mission critical things for health and safety. So like books got pushed to the back of the line. And at that point I said, all right, I have to learn Facebook. It took me a whole weekend. Basically, I sat down with YouTube. I watched a lot of videos, took a lot of notes, and I figured out how to do it. It's still so difficult to do, even though I've been doing it now for about 6 or 7 months on a very active basis. Yeah,
well, coming from you, that means a lot. I mean, I've dabbled in it, but I have no way of tracking. I don't know how to track.
There's ways of doing it, but Facebook made it really hard to do it. And I think Facebook, they're paying more attention to the very big spenders out there, people spending lots of money on it. So like smaller players not getting much attention, and they're not really designing an interface that's easy to use. So I really recommend, if you're going to be advertising anywhere, you have 3 search engines you can work with: Google, Facebook, and Amazon. Work on Amazon advertising. That's where you're going to get, I think, the most results, and I think it's the easiest one to figure out.
And you have about, I know you have to leave at 6:30, so you have about 5 minutes.
Okay, so why don't we go to the next screen? We can just scroll through these advantages.
Yeah, okay, so measure the results, spend a lot or a little, there's some bargains.
Yeah, I think we can skip over that. Oh, actually, there's one point I do want to talk about. So on Amazon, as many of you know, when you publish a book, you're not allowed to use other books' names or other authors' names in your keywords or in your title. Amazon has pretty strict rules about that, and this is via Amazon KDP or the other platforms they use for publishers. However, Amazon advertising, you can. So if you're publishing like a romance novel or a horror novel, if you want to, you can use Amazon. You can't use Stephen King in your keywords on the Amazon KDP, but you can use Stephen King, Cujo, Carrie, The Shining, whatever, in the keywords on your Amazon advertising campaign. And
so actually, you can say, if you like The Shining, you'll like this book or something like that.
It's not really. It's so for the tagline, you can't do that, but for the keywords you can. And actually, the opportunity here for all your listeners, I don't think I've said this before anyplace else, is not to go for the super famous authors, but to go for the up and coming authors and books that not everyone knows about, but people are still searching for. And those are less likely to be bid on. So you can put a bid for, maybe there's a new horror author, a new romance author, a new nonfiction book about some topic that you and all the other fans, super fans, know about it, but the general population doesn't know about it. So they'll be a lot cheaper than Stephen King, or, think of your favorite author out there who has millions and millions of followers. And those are the ones that have the most expensive bids on their names, and also on the books that they're publishing.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
All right, we have a couple more minutes left.
All right. You got how it works.
Whoops, I just pressed the wrong button here. Sorry about that. So, okay, so this is basically an overview of how it works. It's a six-step process of how to do it, or 7-step, or 8 steps actually. It may look a little complicated to see it like this, but actually I think it's pretty straightforward. And speaking as someone who's also tried Google advertising and Facebook advertising, it's a lot easier to figure this out than it is to do those other 2 platforms. So this is another reason to try it out.
We'll put this list in the show notes too, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, next one.
Okay.
Oh, that doesn't look familiar. Oh, yeah. Did someone do a little editing there? I don't remember that.
A little editing, yeah. I said this is not part of a good Amazon detail.
This is kind of the basic thing about anything about doing any sort of marketing. You really need to know what your margins are in your books before you launch a campaign. And here's the situation. Like if when you're using Amazon advertising, you figure out that, oh, it's costing me $3 in clicks to get a single to get a single sale. So that's what you're spending to get your to get a sale taking place. But the margin for your book is only $2. That means you're losing money on every single sale, because it's costing more money to get the sale than it is on the profit that you're getting on that. So really understand what your margins will be, whether it's a KDP book, like an ebook, or whether it's a paperback book or something like that.
Got it.
And what's the next one?
Metrics.
Yeah, so I can't really get too deeply into this because I have to go pretty soon, but there's some metrics that are really important, and there's metrics that are less important. And when you go to Amazon advertising, they'll throw all these numbers at you about what's going on. Some of the metrics are unique to Amazon. They kind of made them up. One of them is called ACOS, advertising cost of sale. It's expressed as a percentage. Yeah, there's one of them right there. Mm-hmm. You might see another one called ROAS, which is return on advertising spend. The important ones that matter are CTR, that means click-through rate. That's the percentage of people who see your ad or see your listing somewhere in Amazon, and then they click on it to see more. That should be, a good CTR for an advertising campaign is about 0.3% or more. Conversion rate means, let's say you get 100 people coming to your detail page on Amazon, and they're looking at it and they're making a decision, do I want to buy this? If you get 10 people who decide they want to buy your book, and out of every 100 people who come, the conversion rate is 10%, and that's great, by the way.
10% is good. Okay.
It is pretty good, and if it's just 1 or 2%, I'd be thinking, maybe there's something the matter. Either the advertisement or my listing is somehow, not meeting expectations, and when people come to the page, they're deciding, I don't think I'm going to do that. And it could be something like there's no reviews yet, or maybe there's an issue with the description, or for some reason it's not available on Prime. But you should evaluate your detail page to determine what the issues are right there.
Good point.
And
so we've got a garden. What's this all about?
What's a garden?
A garden.
I'm confused.
Tending the garden.
Yes, tending the garden. I can't. Can you bring that back? The slides.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and this is something I said before. So tending the garden means it's not like you're just creating the ad and then you're not touching it again. You have to go back to the advertisement campaign and just tweak things to make sure that, first of all, you're not wasting money on keywords that aren't converting. And this has happened to me. Like, I think one time I had a book called Google Drive and Docs in 30 Minutes, and I had an ad campaign running for it. And I had one of the keywords was Chromebook, Google Chromebook, because I thought, people that use Google Drive and Docs, they're likely to own a Chromebook. There's lots of people clicking on that. Nobody was buying. So it was a 0% conversion rate.
So you have to be on top of it and notice, be mindful of those things.
Yeah. So basically it means every week checking in on the campaign, getting rid of those keywords, maybe adjusting other ones that need to be brought up a little bit more, brought down a little bit more. And I have a video on my website that explains how to do that. And the top point is actually, I'll finish on that point. If you have a great advertising campaign, it's, everything is in the right place, but then people come to your detail page and it just doesn't meet their expectations. Maybe the reviews are bad. Maybe it's not Amazon Prime. you're just wasting money. So you really, the first place that everybody should start watching this is to make sure your detail page looks really, really good. And on the IPNE talk that I gave on Saturday, I don't know if it's going to be archived someplace, but
yeah, it'll be distributed.
It will be distributed. Okay, so on that, there's a slide where I actually break down a detail page that meets expectations, and then I also do a side by side of the 2 detail pages. One converts well, one doesn't convert well.
Oh, that was
it explains exactly what's going on.
Yeah,
and it's really important to pay attention to those types of things, because if you have a bad detail page, it doesn't matter how good your ad is. People are less likely to buy the book.
Ian, we're going to have you back because there's a lot more to say, and you're going to turn into a pumpkin if we go on any longer. So thank you so much, and we'll definitely continue this if you're up for it.
Yeah, certainly, Charlotte. Thank you for having me, and all the viewers. Hopefully, see you next time.
Thanks for the questions.
Independent Publishers of New England. It's a great organization.
IPNE.org. I'll hit them with a little promo here.
Okay.
Thank you, Ian.
All right. Thank you. See you later, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, you have been watching Face the Book TV. We have our guest Ian Lamont of Lean Media, and he publishes the immensely popular award-winning In 30 Minutes guides. Has been speaking. He'll be back to talk more about Amazon advertising and related topics. But if you use Face the Book TV hashtag on social media, we will be doing a drawing, and it will award wonderful prizes, books, publishing services, things like that, consults on publishing, anything we can think of, basically. Cool stuff. Let me just go through the credits. Pierce Press is my company, and we just won an award for this book by Sheila Cordner, a BU professor who wrote a wonderful book about famous authors for kids. And we love to hear from authors who want to start publishing or want to know more about publishing. Please contact us at piercepress.com. And I'll leave you with this image. It's the cover of Who's Hiding in This Book. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to having you back at our next podcast. Join us at, or find out more about the podcast and the schedule at piercepress.com/podcasts. Face the Book TV is produced by Pierce Press in collaboration with Independent Publishers of New England, to whom we are immensely grateful. Thanks, everyone.